What's up, you guys? Rise and shine, rise and grind. Rise and shine, rise and grind. So today we have a special video. You guys, because I've taken time from vlogging for a long time. Just because I felt like things have shifted for me. I want to not only bring my presence onto YouTube, but I want to bring my presence and bring people consciousness, educate the people, empower the people. So anyways, this is a very special video for me today because I'm vlogging me going to a Black Panther Party conference with the former they were a part of the original Black Panther Party. They are the speakers to this event. My first thought was, let me research them. Let me see who they were. What part did they take in the Black Panther Party? We're gonna get ready. We gotta look our best. One of the things is look your best, feel your best. Okay? So I'm gonna do me a little light makeup. I'm gonna get dressed. I'm gonna come back to y'all. I'm ready to feel empowered. And you know, it's very important to, even though we've become antisocial since COVID, it's really important for you to recognize that community, having a sense of community, is part of human nature. It's part of who we are. It helps us thrive. It unites us. And that's what they hate to see, is the people united. They want to keep us divided. But you have to stay united. It don't matter if you're Asian, black, brown, white. It don't matter. If you're on our side, and our side meaning against the oppressor, against the corrupted government, against the FBI, against the CIA, who took out our true leaders, like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton, Gaddafi. He was trying to free his people from Africa. You know, he's trying to make Africa rich. You know, they took his ass out. The Western powers took his ass out. And I do encourage those younger people, older people, people of all kinds, to integrate yourself with your community, because during these times, we need each other and we need to unite against the oppressor.
Indians. The library recognizes that the Sasavatam are still here, and it is committed to lifting up their stories, culture, and community.
Sorry, what experience inspired you to join the Black Panther Party?
The murder of Emmett Till. In 1955, I was stationed in Japan, and we got the news about Emmett Till's lynching and torture and murder in the Jet magazine. And I saw that photograph of his remains, and I just lost it, and kind of it turned my whole life around. So I became an activist from that point on, and I was anti-establishment, to say the least.
Nutrition camps all over California, all over the country. I lived in Boyle Heights is a marginal community. We lacked good education opportunities. We lacked markets. We lacked medical care. And, you know, you kind of grow up in that situation. And as I went on to college, you know, your point of view starts evolving. And as I worked in college with BSU, EOP, MEDJA, we formed a solidarity slate, and we ran for office. We won, and we were the first minority student government in Cal State LA. Shortly after that, that taught me the importance of coalition building. When you're young, when you're in college, you don't realize it, but coalition building is going to give you the support that you need, you know, fighting the good fight together. And from there, I think my point of view evolved from Asian American to minority.
I didn't have no boots, put no straps in. And I was gonna major in physical education and minor in math, because that's what I wanted to teach, those, and foreign language, so it was my best subject in school. So I managed to get to Cal State LA pretty much on my own, because the counselor told me that even though I had the highest academic grade point average in my class, that I should go to community college. And I never forget him. But anyhow, I ended up at Cal State LA. And while there, all this is going on. The Black Power movement really springing up, the Chicano movement, the women's movement, the nonprofit movement, the anti-war movement. And the Watts insurrection in 1965 started to open my eyes just a little bit, but not enough for me to say, I'm just going to quit school and I wasn't ready to die. I wasn't there yet. So first semester attending Cal State LA, this guy, there's this place we call the Hellhole where you can go and get hot dogs and fries and not the real cafeteria, but just a place. And mostly the black Latinos, they used to go in there and hang out and play big twists and stuff. And I passed there every day, going to my classes, and this guy is standing out there. I see him all the time. He's always standing out there. So finally one day he gets up the courage to hop from behind the bushes and say, "Hey, my name is Al, what's your name?" And we're gonna walk you to class. And that was the beginning of me starting to learn about what the Black Power movement really was about. He had a little VW, a royal blue VW Bug that had a Muhammad Speaks sticker on it and something else about Black Power this. And so we started going together, and he kept trying to get me to come over to the Panther office and stuff. No, I gotta go to school. I was working as a long distance operator, when I was like, what's her name, Lily Tomlin? Operator now. Had to go to work and make a little money so I could, get out the ghetto and go and, become prosperous and stuff. And needless to say, when the raid occurred in '69, when they raided so many offices all over the country, but here in Los Angeles, he was in one of the offices on exposition, and they beat him up pretty bad. Broke his bones around his eye, around his eye socket and stuff, and put him in jail. So that started to get my attention. So I started going around the headquarters office that was all bombed out by then, but we were still going in there, trying to pull our breakfast program back together, having it around the corner, and while doing that, I would go and see what was going on, because I wanted to find out what was happening with the political prisoners, the 21 that they arrested. And so the officer of the day he asked me, could I type? And so yeah, of course, we've been typing since we were 11. You guys have been typing since you were 2. Okay, some of you,
And the concern we had for our own people, we should extend that out to every oppressed peoples. And that's one of the things that it opened my eyes and attracted me to the program, to the Black Panther Party program, the 10-point platform and program that the party had resonated with me. And I could see, and the fact that they didn't just talk about it, they implemented it. They put it into action. That's what impressed me most. It was like, I spent couple of years in meetings and stuff and talking about and theorizing about stuff, and the party just cut across that stuff and started doing things. And that was what attracted me to the party. The original Rainbow Coalition was created by Fred Hampton, the Black Panther Party in Chicago, Illinois. Fred was about 20 years old, but he had people from Appalachia as part of that organization. Rednecks from Appalachia. And, you know, that, you know, just being part of the Black Panther Party taught me the lessons of working together as a people. And working with other groups and forming coalitions and doing all this. Whereas I thought you had to started out thinking I could just beat all of them, you know, physically. And I started breaking my hands and I realized that wasn't gonna work. So I had to find another way. And it came to my door. They were gonna bus my kids out to the white suburbs. And they hadn't even given me the respect to let me know they were doing this. Busing was government mandated. How do you fight that? It's already mandated by the federal government. You fight it by demanding two-way busing. We demanded that they bus white kids into our communities if they bust us into theirs. And it worked, you know. We got a lot of concessions out of that. And we got some improvements in the conditions of our schools in our community. Of course, they weren't like the ones in the white neighborhoods, but it was better. And that's one of the things that
Then I went up to Oakland and started teaching in the Oakland Community School, which was very different than being in LA. The structure of the party was very, very different. We had to have weekly political education. We had to study. We had to read Mao. We had to read Fanon. We had to read the articles in the papers about struggles in Africa. And during the same time, Huey was talking about, I mean, the party went from an ideology of cultural nationalism, black pride, to revolutionary internationalists, which encompassed struggles of oppressed people in the world. And then he talked about we're no longer just nations, we're communities. So the evolution went to revolutionary intercommunalism. And I think that's encompassing struggles everywhere. And so that's how my ideology kind of grew, but a lot of it was because, we had to study and we had to, so we grow when we learn about other struggles. So I think that's how it contributed to me. We provided busing and it also provided, all the survival programs. The survival programs were temporary programs pending, major change or revolution, okay? But they were temporary programs, but they were programs that the neighborhood could, relate to, and, that's why they supported the party. My train of thought. In the party we taught, and I was already a teacher. I was teaching. I had taught in LA Unified, and so I taught kind of the basic subjects, and of course we teach our own ideology, not structured, but in the way that we approach each other, is that way. But we also had work. I mean, the party was very organized. I learned a lot about organization through the party. We also were on 24-hour call. If on the weekend they needed help at the newspaper or at one of the social programs, and we were there. We sold newspapers, we collected donations for sickle cell. After school, we would go to, the party had 2 dorms, one for the little children, one for the older children. The teachers usually went to the older dorm, and we would bathe the children, braid their hair, put them to sleep, and then we'd clean the dorm. So we were like working, around the clock.
I could add on a little bit.
Yes.
And initially, we were just starting to put things together, but I actually worked on the science and the math curriculums and all. And when my 3 children, when we left Oakland, I brought them to Los Angeles first and told them what grades I wanted to put them in. They would not do that. They said, because they're only this age, I said, it's gonna be bored in there. So we went to San Diego and they put them in the classes that I asked them to put them in because our kids are so advanced. I mean, we said the world is a child's classroom. And you couldn't, no question that you couldn't ask. But the teachers did go to the dormitories at night and they took care of the kids. They would pick the kids up on Monday morning with their little clothing bag. They go and they take them to school. So they're at school all week. They get breakfast there, they get their lunch, they have after school activities. And
hey guys, I just wanted to add that that experience was a once in a lifetime experience, and I was so grateful for that experience. And I hope this empowered you guys to know that anyone can be a part, anyone can make a difference. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be a great speaker. You don't need to be great at math. I mean, one of the things that they outlined was they never did any of it. They gave us a blueprint, and they didn't have a blueprint back then. So it's important to know and note that they made so many mistakes, and that's okay, because with trial and error, look at how far we came with the Black Panther Party. And yeah, even though, they're not with us today, they did leave a blueprint for us, for our generation. They did leave a forever mark on our world, and they're the reasons why they're the reasons why there's free public food for some students. I think it's breakfast and lunch for some schools. They're the reason why a lot of the government programs started, because they're like, okay, let's get rid of them. Let's get rid of the Black Panther Party. How are we going to get rid of them? Okay, we're going to offer everything they offer. It's not time to give up. We still have so much work to do. Make your ancestors proud. Make this a safer environment, community for your children. You need to have children. Your family, when you leave this earth, it'll be a better place for others. And I know some people are like, fuck everybody, it's just me. That's what they want. That's what they push on social media. Yes, it's good to have self-care, but community, if you learn about human nature, we need community to thrive. We need community. And I just want to let you guys know that you can make a difference in any way, whether it's taking care of the kids, but as long as we all come together and we organize, we need to organize. That is how we will defeat the oppressor.